Howdy, guys. Welcome to night 70 of Big Brother All Stars. And this is Cliff Notes from outside the Big Brother house. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about all the key conversations that happened inside the house overnight and literally inside the house. The backyard has been shut down, so everyone's locked inside. That always serves to ramp up the stress and paranoia just that much more. And we have an eviction tomorrow night where either Christmas or Memphis will be heading out the door. So overnight, we saw a lot of campaigning going on. And in addition to that, earlier in the week, it seemed like Memphis was the primary target to be sent out the door. Now we're seeing a little waffling, less certainty on it. We'll talk about some conversations where that's discussed. So certainly a lot of conversations about who should be getting voted out tomorrow as well. So let's get right into it. Let's start off in the photo room. Cody and Memphis and Enzo are talking. This is the wise guys, one of the two wise guys alliances. Memphis is saying, look, guys, there's no reason that the three of us shouldn't be able to make final three right now. We're so close. We should be able to make it. Cody's agreeing, saying, yeah, all we have to do is win the veto on Saturday, and we're good. Well, they need to win the HOH as well, but Nicole can't compete for the HOH. So truly, one of these three guys is going to win HOH. As long as one of the other ones wins veto, then Cody's saying, yeah, we'll make final three. We're good, guys. Oh, but Memphis, if you realize how precarious, how at risk your position is right now, you wouldn't be so confident. This confidence may end up costing Memphis that spot in the final three, because he certainly is a key target right now. We'll see what happens in 36 hours, but it's not nearly as easy as Memphis thinks it is right now. After Memphis leaves, Enzo immediately tells Cody, though, he says, look, yo, Cody, hey, I know we talked about sending Memphis out the door, but maybe the better play is to keep Memphis and send Christmas home instead. And he explains this to Cody by saying, I know if it gets to a final three, Memphis will cut you. He does not want to take you to a final two because you'll beat him. I know that, but if it comes down to a final four and Memphis has the veto power, he's not going to cut you, Cody. He's gonna send Nicole out the door instead, because again, Nicole can't compete for HOH. He says if he wins veto, he's going to send Nicole out the door. So you and I should be good. Whereas with Christmas, we don't know exactly what she's going to do. So it may make more sense, Cody, to send Christmas out and keep Memphis, and then we should be safe. The wise guy alliance prevails, kind of like Memphis just got through saying. Well, Cody responds to that and says, Enzo, Memphis just wanted to backdoor me this week, so why wouldn't he be willing to backdoor me this coming up week just as easily? Enzo responds back with, I think, some good points. He says, well, Nicole was HOH. She was safe this week, so he couldn't do anything to her. And he and Christmas both were trying to backdoor you just to try to protect their games together and all of that. So, that's not going to be the case next week, Cody. And I think he's going to be good. He's going to protect us if it comes down to it. I'm not sure if Memphis would or not. Would Memphis send out Nicole, or would he send out Cody? Who knows what would happen? We really, I don't know. It'd be fun to see what could happen. Cody responds back to Enzo, says, look, here's another thing to keep in mind, Enzo. If we keep Christmas, if we send Memphis out the door, you are safe. You are safe no matter what. You are making the final three, because if you were on the block with me, or Enzo, if you were on the block with Nicole, either way, Christmas is going to send home either myself or Nicole. She's not going to send you home. So you're good. You make final three if we keep Memphis and if we keep Christmas and send Memphis out the door. Well, maybe. If Cody was to win HOH and Christmas was to win veto, so that suddenly Nicole and Enzo are on the block, would Christmas send home Nicole, or would she send home Enzo? Would she try to break up? Which duo would she try to break up? I'm not so certain which way she would go. I do know that Nicole and Christmas are a lot tighter than Nicole and Memphis are. So I think that's where some of Enzo's concern may be, about that potential connection between Christmas and Nicole. And in the best or worst case situation, does Christmas send Nicole out, or does she send Enzo out? So I think that's his worry from that standpoint, and why he may want to send Christmas out the door. So we've got that conversation. So now we know that Cody wants to keep Memphis. We know Enzo is leaning towards maybe sending Christmas out. So where does Nicole stand? Well, let's talk about that next. Up in the HOH room, Cody and Nicole are talking. Nicole is saying, Cody, I know we were planning on sending Memphis out, but I'm thinking maybe sending Christmas home is the best choice. That maybe that would benefit us more. She says she's getting worried about Christmas and what Christmas may do. Here's the thing. Would it benefit Nicole to have Christmas as opposed to Memphis? Well, we just got through talking a little bit that maybe in some ways it would benefit to have Christmas in there. In some scenarios, maybe she protects Nicole, sends Enzo out the door. There's some merit to that argument, but I think much shorter than even that. I think Nicole may be ready to get rid of Christmas simply because she is tired of Christmas following her around, campaigning to her nonstop. And she's just tired of having Christmas always in her ear talking. I see Nicole envisioning another week that Christmas is in the house if Memphis goes home, where Nicole's going to think that, or Christmas is going to think Nicole's her best friend, and she'll constantly be with Nicole. I think Nicole may be ready to send Christmas home just to get rid of that whole distraction, harassment, call it what you will. There may be a lot more to it, but I think that's part of what's going into Nicole's consideration now of sending Christmas out the door. Cody comes back and says, look, you can't have a lot of backup plans when there's only a final four. You can't play this what if, maybe scenarios. You just have to play your best game, Nicole. If we have Memphis out the door, then you and me and Enzo, we've got 3-1 to win that veto. And if that happens, we send Christmas out. We're good. We can't get too in the weeds thinking about all these scenarios. Cody's got a little bit of a point there as well. So they talk about that. Cody then at this point mentions to Nicole, he says, hey, just so you know, Enzo is getting worried because you and Christmas are spending so much time together. And he's just worried he sees y'all together all the time. Well, that's more Christmas's fault than it is Nicole's fault. I know that to be the case. And why is Cody telling Nicole this? Maybe because he wants her to know how Enzo's feeling, but I think it's a lot more because Cody may be feeling the same way. The last thing Cody wants is for Nicole and Christmas to spend so much time together that they start getting too close. And suddenly Cody's blindsided with some kind of flip because these two have convinced each other to work together. So I think that's a little bit of Cody's insecurities passing on to Nicole, just saying, hey, don't get too chummy with her because Enzo's concerned about it, as am I, but he didn't want to say that. So we've got that. Nicole talks a little bit. She's worried that Christmas would cut her over Enzo because of the Wise Guys alliance. So in addition to maybe just Christmas hanging around with her a whole lot, she is worried about the Wise Guys, which she now knows exist. And so she would just soon see Memphis out the door. So that little alliance goes away and she doesn't have to worry about it. Cody had at this point an interesting suggestion, an interesting idea. I really like it. Cody says, hey, let's not let Christmas feel too secure that she's safe and we're sending Memphis out the door. Let's tell her that she's going home, or at least imply it. So that way she's going to be a lot more nervous and focused on campaigning for votes over the next 36 hours instead of trying to prepare for mental competition, days, events, things like that. So let's tell her she's going home just so she'll get a little bit nervous and frazzled, and we know she doesn't work well under pressure. I think that's a decent idea. All right, so next conversation in the photo room. Christmas is telling Enzo, she says, Enzo, I keep telling Nicole that she'll never beat Cody in a final two. Well, she's also making sure that Enzo starts thinking about, could he beat Cody in a final two? She's trying to create as many wedges and diversion as she can, or dissension within that group of three. Christmas also is saying, look, Cody's not making deals with anyone, it seems like. And she says, I think it's because he thinks he can beat any of us in the game. He can beat any of us in that final three competition. So he'll drag along whoever he wants to in the final. So again, she's trying to portray to Enzo just how big a threat Cody is, with the hope that if she makes it to Final Four, she can pull Enzo over to her side. She does tell Enzo that if she wins the veto, she is protecting him no matter what. He will be safe. He will be going to Final Three. Probably true. But again, if Cody is HOH and it comes down to Nicole and Enzo and Christmas has to choose between the two of them, she may pick Enzo, but she may pick Christmas as well. All right, in the HOH room, we've got Cody and Memphis talking. Memphis is saying, yeah, it's really strange that Christmas seems so content. It's almost creepy that she's not more nervous. Christmas is always nervous, and yet she seems very satisfied, at ease right now. Well, it's because she thinks she's staying in the house. Cody says, yeah, I know, but I'm going to tell her before the eviction vote. I'm going to tell her that she's going home. I've done that with Ian. I've done it with other people. I'm going to do it with her as well, so she doesn't get blindsided up. Well, we already heard the discussion. He may tell her that even earlier, just to get her a little flustered. But he tells Memphis that he's going to do that, so she doesn't think that she's staying in the house. At this point in time, everyone in the kitchen is fixing tacos for Taco Tuesday. Hence the background. I'm glad to see they're still doing Taco Tuesday, which they all enjoy eating. Enzo, there's always the person in the house that has to make things a little less comfortable. Enzo's telling everyone about the boil he has. He went and saw a medic about it. Perfect dinner conversation. Apparently he was trying to ice his leg down. He didn't realize if you put an ice pack on your leg too long, you can create a freezer burn or a burn on your leg. And apparently that created a boil that he's showing and telling everyone about that boil. That and Taco Tuesday, perfect combination, Enzo. Job well done. All right, in the HOH room, Nicole has been studying off and on throughout the day for her days and events. She's very focused on, she can't compete on HOH, but she's very focused thinking this POV could be some kind of a mental competition. In the photo room, we've got Nicole telling Cody that his plan about making Christmas thinks she's going home. It probably isn't going to work because she just realized, or Enzo just told her, or Christmas just told her that Enzo has said that Christmas is staying. She is not going home, so she says, Cody, it's not going to work. Enzo's already told Christmas that she's staying. Cody's not happy with this. He says, Enzo, why are you doing it, man? Why are you? So he's not happy that Enzo kind of spilled the beans and this other plan isn't going to be able to work. Everyone gets a beer from Big Brother. They're all happy except for Cody, who says 1 beer each. That's not getting 2 sheets of toilet paper and being happy. That's not enough. If you're going to give us beer, give us beer. But everyone else is happy with it. Upstairs lounge, Christmas is talking to Memphis about how she would love to go on the challenge. She just loves to compete. That'd be a lot of fun. The conversation continues throughout the evening. She talks to Cody about it because his brother Paulie was on the challenge, so he talks a little bit about it. Conversation then turns to The Circle, show on Netflix. Fantastic show if you haven't seen it. And how they think how great Davon would be on a show like The Circle. They have to explain the rules of the game to Memphis and Christmas and Enzo. So talk about reality TV, things like that. They go upstairs in the HOH room. They're all playing charades in the room. A little different. Instead of movies, they're doing Hot Wings and Pretzel Girl and different funny little categories, things like that. Having a lot of fun. Then a lot of non-game talk about dating, relationships, etc. They discover, I guess Kevin taught them about eating popcorn with hot sauce on it. They're all doing that. They think it's just the most fantastic thing in the world. At this point, Nicole gets called to the DR. Memphis and Christmas. Cody goes to bed. Memphis and Christmas end up in the bathroom downstairs, where we have a very weird conversation, guys. I don't really know what to make of it. Strange conversation. Memphis is saying something about, I can't stand the restrictions, that there's conversations that he would like to have, that he needs to have. It seems like he's directing conversations he'd like to have with Christmas. They keep using this like code word about, if it was laundry time, it'd be fantastic. And then they say something about, well, this isn't going away. This isn't going to go away. And I think Christmas says, no, I agree. It's not going away. They then talk about, the timing could have been much better. That's kind of rough and everything. Memphis at one point says, I hear you. I feel you. I understand you, Christmas. So I don't know. I have no idea what that all implies, or there's already been rumors going around, which I won't add to. It's just a very weird conversation. I'd love to hear what was being talked about at some point later when they're comfortable about talking about it. So next conversation. Christmas is asking Memphis why Memphis put up David and Nicole instead of Janelle and Kaiser. He says it's because he was on good terms with Janelle and Kaiser. He thought maybe he could use them in the future, but Kaiser was too intense. They never had power, and they were just trying too hard to split the house. They're talking about how many variables there are in the game, that you can't just be the best physical player versus the best social player. Some more conversations about past events and who they were working with, things like that. One of them's going home, so they're spilling the beans just a little bit more about past situations. At this point, Enzo is still up in the HOH room with Nicole. They talk about using the word bodyguard. I think Enzo is up there just so Christmas won't come up and just talk too long to Nicole. So Enzo's just hanging around just so to block Christmas from being able to do that. And so at that point in time, now we finally have all the house guests are going to sleep. All the lights are off and we're ready for another day. So there you have it, guys. I will be back in 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, we'll have the eviction tomorrow night. We'll see if anything's changed about who's going home, who the target is, or who isn't. Guys, you have a great one. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.